came with a shock collar. And I couldn't even see it, because I know what your position on shock collars are,
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, the dog, and it was only when she barked. I noticed, she'd be scared to bark, and and then they're like, oh, it's a shock collar, because I guess they sent it off to this boarding place, and they've said that. So the first thing I did was dump the thing, you know what I mean? And now she feels free to talk. But what's your position on the shock collars versus any negative punishment to a dog rather than mark training, or I don't know how you call it, where you're...
Well, a shock collar, is painful.
Right.
It's plain and simple. Anyone who tells you that it's not is just, trying to, soften it up. But it's uncomfortable. That's what makes it work, is the dog doesn't like it. It doesn't want it to happen, doesn't want it to occur. So training through aversives, there's a lot of problems with it. Because pain induces aggression in animals. It's a simple fact that a lot of people just don't want to consider. And in a well-trained handler or well-trained trainer's hands, a shock collar can do amazing things. But I associate them or relate to them as scalpels. I tell people shock collars like a scalpel. If I have a really good doctor and I really need to get cut open, then okay, fine. Okay. But the nurse practitioner, please don't use the scalpel on me.
Right.
It's like, don't do that. You can use the needle.
Exactly,
and, you've got the other tools, the other parts that you know how to do, but let's leave the scalpel to the surgeon.
Right.
So working with the general public and teaching the general public how to train their dog is more complicated than people might think, because you're teaching a skill set, a mechanical skill set, to a person. When you don't really have good mechanics, or you don't have good consistency, and you don't have good timing, or you are emotional about the remote, meaning it's like, I don't want to shock my dog, you're not going to be consistent. You're going to threaten. You're not going to be effective. And what ends up happening is the dog ends up getting shocked over and over and over again, where it has no way of learning how to avoid it. You have to know what you're doing with a shock collar. And that's probably the thing that bothers me the most is, the people who have them that don't know how to use them. That's the part that bothers me.